One of the fundamental pieces that makes up the DC universe are the powerful and untouchable cosmic entities. They're responsible for representing some aspects of the universe and keeping it functioning, such as the emotional spectrums. There are also those entities that have rebelled from their functions and caused great damage on the multiversal scale, like the Anti-Monitor. In any case, each entity has a crucial role in existence, and with each new arc, we discover new entities that provide either help or despair to the heroes. We have those entities that everyone already knows about, but there are some that I'm sure that you've never heard of. So if you're interested in finding out who these entities are, get comfortable and let's get to the video. Number 1. Solaris. Solaris is an artificial sun created in the 853rd century with the goal of warming part of the solar system. What they didn't know is that it was loaded with a virus that made it become a tyrant sun, constantly trying to destroy Earth and kill Superman. He has been a recurring villain to Superman's descendants, as Kryptonians are practically immortal over time, and Superman's children and grandchildren are all alive fighting against the villain. One of Superman's descendants from the 523rd century ends up sacrificing himself to reprogram the villain and bring him back to the side of good. Eventually he returns to being a villain, but this time the Justice League from the original time period helps to take down the computer once and for all. Solaris possesses energy manipulation, mainly red solar energy, which he uses against Superman. He has super intelligence since he's a computer, can fly, become invisible, create force fields, and manipulate gravity. Remember that he is the size of a sun, so the character is ridiculously large, requiring entire teams to cause damage to him. Number 2. Mordru. Mordru was said to exist even before the universe was created, and will exist even after the universe ends. He's so powerful that he's been able to kill several Lords of Order, a group of extremely powerful magical beings, with the strongest being the wizard Nabu, also known as Dr. Fate. He is part of the Lords of Chaos and is immortal, possessing the highest possible degree of magic. He can travel through time, teleport, transmute matter, and perform endless arrays of other powers. By granting a portion of his power to Zatanna and Wonder Woman, the two were able to access the Overmonitor and tear the comic book page. Mordru himself was capable of tearing the comic book page he was on and walking in the blank space of the pages. Undoubtedly one of the most powerful magical beings in existence, his main weakness is that he needs to possess someone to remain on Earth. Number 3. Pralaya. Pralaya is the personification of all the void that existed before creation, and that will exist after creation. She embodies all non-existence, the unconsciousness of presence itself, and when awakened, she nearly consumed all timelines. Her soul desires to end all existence, returning the multiverse to its original void, even knowing that the multiverse would be reborn again. She exists beyond time, life, and death, and characters like Constantine, Zatanna, and Madame Xanadu were completely powerless against her. Nothing can exist in Pralaya, and she claims that even the presence will return to her one day. Even though she appeared in only 2 issues of the Justice League Dark comic, she momentarily destroyed all of creation. This was because it was only one of her avatars, as she said her true form would destroy the minds of the heroes in battle. Number 4. The Great Darkness. The Great Darkness is one of the 2 most powerful entities in all of DC, tied with the Presence, the creator of the entire DC universe. When the Presence said, "Let there be light," the darkness receded and formed the Great Darkness. And because it wasn't created by the Presence, it is the only entity that can stand up to it. When the Spectre, one of the most powerful beings in DC, encountered the Great Darkness, he was nothing more than an insect compared to it, barely the size of its finger. Due to its influence, DC went through a dark period in the comics, which was only resolved after it and the Presence agreed not to attack each other. It possesses omnipotence and has been said that major DC villains are merely aspects of it, such as Darkseid, the Empty Hand, the Inverted Man, and several others. There's no being in DC that can truly put an end to it, and currently, it is responsible for bringing about the new multiversal crisis that the heroes are facing. Number 5. Crona. Crona belonged to the race of the Malthusians, who eventually became the Guardians of the Universe. Due to his reprogramming of the Manhunters, Sector 666 was decimated, leading to the rise of the Red Lantern Corps. Crona created a machine to witness the beginning of creation, something forbidden by the Malthusians, and in doing so, he split the universe into a matter universe and an antimatter universe. He was banished for his actions, becoming a form of energy wandering the universe, and his guilt caused the Malthusians to become the Guardians of the Universe. Eventually, he reached the realm of Necron, the Lord of the Dead, and an aspect of death itself, and allied with the entity. Together, they would create the Blackest Night years later, turning nearly the entire universe into undead members of the Black Lantern Corps. Crona is essentially immortal and one of the greatest geniuses in all of DC, in addition to being a Malthusian and as powerful as the other members of his race. But you know what's as immortal as Crona? That's right, your like. With it immortalized here in the video, I can grow and finally conquer the title of the biggest nerd channel on all of YouTube. Number 6. The D-Creator. The D-Creator is one of the aspects of the Great Darkness, and from the description alone, it's clear that he is extremely powerful. He appears as a large, bloodshot eye in the sky, and when he shows up, the entire sky shatters into pieces. His sole function is to decreate, slowly making everything that exists cease to exist until nothing is left. He's not necessarily evil. In fact, he hasn't even shown a personality. He's more akin to a force of nature. The D-Creator is unstoppable, and likely as immortal as the Great Darkness. However, the Doom Patrol managed to slow down the process of decreation to a point where it's almost impossible to notice that he's doing anything. So in the end, they resolved the problem. Number 7. Imperiex. Imperiex is the personification of entropy and the end of everything. He is the entity that destroys universes to create new ones from the old. Upon his arrival, he had already destroyed numerous galaxies and planets, even vaporizing Doomsday with a single energy blast. Even Brainiac and Darkseid had to unite to help fight against the entity. Imperiex is so powerful that all the heroes of Earth had to come together to stop the probes he sent out. When Brainiac took advantage of the situation to absorb Imperix's energy, they had to send both Imperiex and Brainiac to the beginning of the universe, so that both would be destroyed. The total number of deaths was incalculable, including the deaths of some Earth heroes who eventually came back to life anyway. Number 8. Rao. Rao is a Kryptonian god who is the personification of the sun, worshipped as the god of light and life. The founders of the House of El, the same house as Superman, believed that Kryptonians born with red hair were a sign of Rao's divine influence, and it was common for red-haired individuals to be treated as priests of Rao. For a long time, a monotheistic religion was established on Krypton, where everyone worshipped only the god Rao. However, his influence over the Kryptonians waned at some point during the so-called Sixth Historical Era. The Kryptonians abandoned mysticism and fully embraced science and technology, becoming one of the most advanced races in DC Universe. Rao's story varies a bit. It was once said that he was an ancestor of Superman, which explained why Superman is so powerful, but this has since been discarded. Unfortunately, he's not a character we see much in the comics. But those were the most obscure cosmic entities from DC that I could remember. Comment below which entity is your favorite from the video, and which one you think was missing here. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and let's journey together to reach the top of YouTube.